Okay.
And get a confidential feedback.
I got it done.
Give to you guys before you do the evals, if that's all right with you guys.
Yeah, I need to come in and sit down
Yeah.
and figure that out, but, okay, so
And you guys can do your update first, I'm not hurrying.
we've already done.
Okay,
everything.
good. Then you are
We
ready
did,
for
and then
me.
we signed off to reboot, but I think we're good now, so, all right.
So I can start?
Yes, ma'am.
Crystal Malchus, HR Director, Special Projects. Welcome to 2024. I have some department head out of office notification forms. One of them is for me, just so you know, it's January 24th is Local Government Day. At the Capitol, it's also the first Kansas Association of Counties Board meeting of the year. When we'll do our reorganization, so we get that done in the morning, and then we participate in the government aspect of it in the afternoon. And LABTR should be a hot topic, so we'll see how that goes. As I emailed you, just as an FYI, investigation is ongoing. So I hope to have that ready for you next week. And so Ms. Teresa, if I could get a 15-minute executive session added next week, that would be wonderful. And Tiffany and I have been working, and with Jennifer, closely to make sure that we get 2023 closed out, all the I's dotted and T's crossed, and then all the new changes for 2024 entered, to make sure that this Friday, when everybody gets their first check of the year, that their incomes have been adjusted for the new pay scale, as well as benefits being updated, and trying to make sure that we don't have to make any corrections after the fact. So we've been very, very busy with that. Just as an FYI, with the beginning of the year, Capers has increased the employer portion of theirs. So last year it had been 8.43%. Now it'll be 9.26% for Capers, and then KPNF was 22.17, I think, and it's going to 23.1. So we do have those in there. We received the workers' compensation premium report, and Tammy has separated that by department and notified each department what their portions will be. So we've got the work comp thing taken care of, and I've received the initial notice of the work comp annual audit information. So that's due the second Monday in February. So I will be working on that as well.
All right.
So aside from that, I just want to tell everybody from now on, we should tell all departments that I can't do anything else from December 22nd through January 5th, except year end and the beginning of the next year. So it's just too crazy.
All right.
But that's all I have for now.
Okay,
Thank you.
Wow.
thanks.
Did you get an email from Mr. Butler about House Bill 2036?
Mhm.
Sounds like it's on the fast track through committee,
Which one?
the veterans property tax.
Well, I know they're having a hearing on the 17th. Good morning.
Morning.
How's everybody doing?
Good, you?
Good.
Morning.
Morning.
Getting in trouble?
What?
In trouble?
Just cold in our office, so I figured it's warmer over here.
Did you not favor that?
Yeah, of course you did.
I'll take it back. Elementary school substitute teacher, they bring in the cart, the TV strapped to it. And a VCR, what's the VCR?
Still got any tapes?
I probably have some evidence of it or something.
I've got a couple home videos. That's about it.
It's for most of mine for like 8 months.
Did you get this email from, Dana Cox?
I should have transferred them a long time ago.
So, no, I did.
Immigration, really, back in the
Well, they need a signature from the chairman on the, chief elected officer,
Oh, yeah. I just pulled it up on the phone.
Oh, there.
Wow. I've never seen that one.
Yep. There's two on the sign. No, I was gonna do that first. I asked the guys to come over in case there were any questions, and I went ahead and did the transfer, so it's ready to go.
Okay.
Everything's good. I'll have you guys, I'll have you sign the transfer. They approve it once they approve it. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners. Tammy Robinson, Finance Director. The first thing I have on my list is a transfer that the Sheriff's Department would like you to consider. They had some budget remaining here at the end of the year, and they have the possibility of getting an additional vehicle. And with that, they're wanting to reserve some of that remaining budget for that purpose. And so our request today would be to transfer $62,915 from the sheriff's budget into CIP to earmark those funds for potential vehicle. If something happens where they're unable to get the vehicle, the intent would still to leave it in there earmarked for the possibility of when they can get that vehicle.
Oh, you don't have a vehicle you're wanting to purchase right now.
Oh, it's already earmarked for us.
It's just a matter of
It's just
whether
a
it
matter of
comes.
whether or not well, no, it's there. It was one of those deals, if we put the purchase order in, they would reserve the vehicle. But if we didn't. put the
What
purchase
is it?
order-
What's the vehicle?
It's another Dodge Durango
Oh, okay.
Pursuit. It's just a matter, they said, we could put the purchase order on, and if we didn't have it and didn't get approved, then they would be able to resell it, but they couldn't reserve it for us unless we actually put in the purchase order.
Okay. So you have something to purchase.
Yes.
Oh,
It didn't sound like that. That's why I.
Yeah, I guess that's how I was taking it, is that it might not be available.
No, this
potentially.
one was actually
That was my
available.
confusion.
Yes.
Okay.
so if we approve it, then you can go ahead with the,
Purchase and have it here, yes. They're just waiting on whether or not it gets approved to have it delivered, because once it's approved, then we would be able to provide them with a payment for the vehicle, and they would have it delivered here and start the bill.
Well, I make a motion that we approve that purchase.
Purchase or moving funds?
The the transfer for the purchase, I think you could.
I guess that would be both.
Yeah.
I can put it all in one, yeah.
Okay, second, all in favor, say aye.
All right.
All right.
And so with that, we went ahead and, since this is an end of the year and it wasn't budgeted previously, I had our legal counsel prepare a resolution for you guys to sign and approve of that.
Oh, so then I guess add the approval of resolution 0102/2024.
This one.
Thank you, guys. We're trying to catch up on vehicles, and as you can, vehicles are terrible. We've got vehicles in line waiting to be upfitted, and we can't get those upfitted. We have certain vehicles we can get, some we can't, like a transport vehicle we're trying to get, and we're having a hard time even getting one, so thank you.
Right, you guys found one of those.
Where's that at?
24?
This one's a 23. Good.
Thank you.
Where's it at?
I'll send a copy of this.
SVS has it. I'm not sure which dealer he got it through. I just know that he has it earmarked for us.
What's the SVS?
It's the Special Vehicles Source down on South Washington.
Oh, so you guys don't send out, for,
State bid.
We
Yeah,
do,
it-
well, our purchases, the problem is normally with our purchase for like state bids is down at Davis Moore in Wichita. They have a state bid for the Dodges and we have to order. They used to have vehicles on hand, but they no longer are allowed to get them, is what they say. So if it's not ordered through them, they don't have any on
So
the
you didn't
lot.
try with our local Dodge to see if. they could
Valor,
get-
every time I've gone to Valor, they told me they haven't been able to find me anything.
Okay.
Okay, you're all set.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good day.
You too.
Okay, the next thing I have on my list to present this morning is the financial reports for the month of November. So this first one that's up here is the 2023 year-to-date expenditure budget activity report. So this is by fund. You can see what the budget is. And if you'll recall, we amended the 2023 budget. And so when you look at that expenditure budget clear to the left, those numbers have been updated with the amendments. And so when you're going across, you can look at your total for the year. You have it by month. It shows you what the available budget is and the percentage that has been used. Keep in mind, as of the end of November, we were at 91.66% into the year. And so the ones that are highlighted in blue are the ones that exceeded that 91.66%. The only one that did is the library. And again, we've talked about this. It's the timing of the expenditures with the distributions that go out. And so at this point in time, we would expect that it would be at that level. So there are no issues with the library one. And with our amended budgets, you can see the rest of them have adjusted down. So we don't have any others that have an issue of being over that 91.66% and do not expect to see that. We had a couple that are a little bit close, and I did reach out to those department heads to let them know that they need to be aware of this and to be watching their budgets, because while they may have cash available, they have to have the budget available in order to spend those funds. And so they're keeping a closer eye on those. Is there any questions on the 2023 expenditure report?
I don't have any.
Okay, the next one is the general fund by department, and this just gives you the expenditures again, just for the departments within general fund. looking at that 91.66% and the departments that are over that 91.66%. So we had Human Resources, District Court, and Finance. Finance, you would expect that because we did absorb two additional budgets or two additional salaries in that finance line item. And then on your District Court, they have several things that they pay for the other surrounding courts and then they're reimbursed. So while it looks like they're over, those reimbursements actually cover those expenses, so they're not over that budget limit. It's just that when you're looking at expenditures from a separate aspect than the revenue, you can't see that those reimbursements come back in to net across to get their budget below. And Human Resources, again, we've absorbed additional costs with changing our staffing over there and some needs that we had in order to get us going, capital needs. And so that's why it's just a little bit higher. It's still not over that 100%, but it is just a little over that 91.66% mark. And then the next page is just the breakdown by month for each of the departments, in case you would want to review that. And if you had any questions, you can let me know. And then we'll go back here to the revenue budget activity. So this shows you the revenue of what we budgeted and what we've had through November 30th and the percentage that's been received on those. And if you want to review those, if there's any specifics you have questions on, you can let me know and I'd be more than happy to get the information for you. Are there any questions on those?
No, going back to the previous, building maintenance is 0%.
Because it was absorbed up into Public Works.
Okay.
So previously it was its own department and we actually changed it so it's a project code under Public Works. So it's tracked with a project code instead of a whole separate department. And some of those building maintenance costs are being absorbed in the building facility fund as well. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. The next one we'll look at is the sales tax information. You received your emails from Sherry that gave you the December numbers. And so I just have this report I put together so you can see where we're at in comparison to 2022. So the box in the middle shows you where we are compared to prior year. And so for the end of the year, we ended up with sales tax, the 1% sales tax, $65,471.74 above previous year. The hospital dedicated tax, $31,680.16 above previous year, and Acorn, $138,338.09 for that CID revenue that we get in. And if you look at your year-to-date compared to your budget, we did receive 143.84% of our county sales tax and compensating use tax, and then of the hospital dedicated tax and the compensating tax that goes along with that, 107.12% of our budget was received. So we exceeded our budget. And if you look from previous year, we actually increased our budget numbers. So that's even better news that we were able to increase our budget and we still captured in addition to those funds. The hospital dedicated tax is really important in looking at that because we're monitoring that to pay the hospital bond. That was part of our plan with this new bond that went out there to alleviate some of the tax burden. It's all being funded with the sales tax and the reserve that's already in place for anything that's less than what the bond payments are. And so we budgeted 1.5 million and we collected almost 1.7. So that is great news that this is one that we're really tracking and watching closely to make sure we're where we expect based on our 20-year plan that we put in place with this. And then Acorn, just as a reminder, this is one that while we've met that obligation
to Acorn, we need to determine how these funds are going to be utilized or to be sent back to the state. So that's something we need to have on our radar to get that plan in place. So, any questions on the sales tax?
That's actually good.
Okay, we have the Geary County Building Cash Flow Analysis. Again, noting the 91.66% into the year. And you can see based on the revenue we started, or the cash we started with, the revenue we received, expenditures that have went out, that our 2023 ending unencumbered cash is $445,000. And then we have a few projects that are still remaining out there that have not been spent. So once you take those out, our projected unencumbered cash is $432,000. We've expended 58% of our budget, which is down here on the right side. And we have received 120.58% of our revenue. So we budgeted $200,000 to go in there from the general fund, which we put in there. And then in addition to that, we had some funding that came through with K-Camp insurance. So it's really a reimbursement against those costs. And then we've had some returned items with purchases that we made that they've had to take back. So that's where you get that 120.58%. Any questions on the building cash flow?
No.
And the last one is the CIP. So we started the year with 4.5 million in cash. We've received just over 1.2 million in revenue. Our expenditures have been 1.8, so our ending unencumbered cash is 3.9. And this is all in this left-hand box under cash reconciliation. And then we have remaining approved projects, 851,000, which gives us 3.1 million. And then when we take out the reserve funds, which is in that box right below, we have projected cash without reserve of just almost 2.3 million. We've spent 59.67% of our budget, and the revenue that's come in has exceeded, it's went 249.88%. And that's largely due to the transfer is the 500,000, but then we changed how we're doing our interest income. So we're actually taking a portion of our interest income we receive on our checking account, because this is a relatively large fund, and we're allocating those dollars based on the balance that's setting in CIP. And so interest has come in there, which has helped with sustaining these dollars. And then of course there are some delinquent motor vehicle taxes that are still going in there, and they will for 2 years because they're delinquent, and it's a 2-year period that's 2 years behind. So I think I talked to Teresa, and it should be the end of 24 before those would completely drop off. So we may still see some of that. And the reason that's happening is because it was previously a levied fund and it no longer is. So, and then the next page just gives you the details of your individual projects. The ones in dark blue are ones that are completed. And so if you want to review those, and if you have any questions on them, you can let me know. And then the only other thing I wanted to share with you was, so our offices across the hall, we've been working on year end and moving into 2024, which is a completely new process with CIC. So we've had a few hiccups and a few nights where we've had to work late trying to get some things done. The payroll and HR, they're working hard on the efficiency processes to get things in place for next year, so that hopefully when we get to the end of the year, it just makes this process easier and cleaner for them. Do want to note that our HR and payroll supervisor has a lot more responsibility now, as she's overseeing the payroll side and reviewing not only the benefits, but the payroll as well. And same with our Jennifer and Tiffany. They have more responsibility because there's a lot of things that they have to reconcile from the payroll side to the GL side to make sure that we don't have errors between the two and that the records are matching in totality. So they're taking on that responsibility. I think they're actually even enjoying it, making it their own process, and building those processes so that if somebody is gone, the cross-training that we're putting in place will assist us to make sure that things can continue to be completed and done, should someone need to be gone. So those are all good things. I wouldn't say we're 100% where we expect to be yet, because we've only started this since May, but we've put a lot of processes in place and a lot of hard work, and so kudos to my staff for working so hard and building the processes for AP and payroll. So
Thank you.
that's all I have this morning.
Thank you.
Yep.